Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, scholars. It is a terrific Tuesday. Today is April 7th, 2020, and we're going to focus on lesson 17 today. Today is going to be a very quick lesson because Ms. Jackson has to be in a meeting in 15 minutes for the next 3 hours. So I want to still be able to get this video out to you all early so that you can still answer the question at the end. Ready? We do have a couple scholar shout outs. It seems like Ashford is on and popping. Seems like you scholars are getting onto iReady Reading. These scholars has the most minutes as of now. Scholar number 27 in Ashford, scholar number 1 in Ashford, and scholar number 24 in Ashford. Please keep up the great work, Ashford scholars. ISU, where are you? I need you. I need you. Don't let them beat you. The objective for today, scholars, is that you will read supper, or I will read supper, with prosody and expression. That means we're going to read it fluently, like first grade scholars, ready for second grade, and with expression. So if it's a question mark, we're going to read it as a question. If it's a sentence of strong excitement, we're going to make sure with strong emotion, we're going to read that sentence with strong emotion. We have to make sure we change our voices just a little bit. When a man is talking, when a woman is talking, when a little child is talking, making sure we change it up just a tad so it's more interesting or entertaining, okay? This means we're about to get started, scholars. So today's story is called supper. Supper is another word for dinner. People have different words for the evening meal all across the country, okay? So I want you to think about what you call this evening meal. Do you call it dinner? Do you call it supper? I call it dinner at my house. What do you call it? Think about it and tell your parents or tell your siblings. Okay. WH makes what sound? W. Whip, win, wheel. KN makes what sound? Knocks, knife. SE makes what sound? S, house. Two-syllable words. Invites, chickens, muffins, frosting. Greens is a noun. Greens is a noun because it is a thing. They are leafy green plants that you can eat, such as in a salad. For example, I would say, we had fresh greens for lunch yesterday. Toots is a verb. Toots is a verb because it is an action word. It is something that can be done. It means beeps or honks. For example, I would say Bailey toots the horn on her new bike. At the wheel. At the wheel means driving a car or other vehicle. For example, I would say my uncle was at the wheel and I was in the back seat on the way to school today. Red velvet. Red velvet is an adjective because it describes something. It's a red colored cake, usually topped with cream cheese flavored frosting. For example, I would say my cousin always asks for a red velvet cake on her birthday. Scholar, we're going to read today's story carefully to find out what Grace serves at Sunday supper. Remember, supper means dinner. That is also the title of our book reader story today, Supper. If we had our readers, we will be turning to page 50. Starting with the title, Supper. Finger underneath the word Grace. Grace invites two of her pals from soccer to visit her house for supper. They are twin sisters. Their names are Kim and Jane Knox. Finger underneath the word Grace. Grace and her mom spend the morning cooking. They gather fresh greens from the garden. They cook 2 chickens in a big pan. They bake fresh corn muffins and a cake. Finger underneath the word Grace. Grace gets to crack the eggs and mix the cake. Her mom lets her help whip up the frosting too. And best of all, she gets to lick the spoon when the frosting is finished. Finger underneath the word at. At 6, a car drives up and toots the horn. Mr. Knox is at the wheel. Finger underneath the word that's. That's them, Grace shouts. She runs out to meet her classmates. Finger underneath the word they. They sit down for dinner. Finger underneath the word Kim. Kim Knox cuts the chicken with her knife. Yum, she says. This chicken is the best. It's so much better than the stuff our dad makes. Finger underneath the word Jane. Jane nods. She will tell Grace how good the chicken is, but her mouth is stuffed with chicken. Finger underneath the word save. Save room for cake, Grace says. Finger underneath the word after. After supper, Grace brings in the cake she and her mom made. She helps her mom slice up the cake. Finger underneath the word ooh. Ooh, says Kim. What sort of cake is it? Finger underneath the word red. Red velvet, says Grace. Finger underneath the word yum. Yum, says Kim. Can we visit next weekend too? All right, you know what this means. If you have a blank sheet of paper or you just are close to your parents' cell phone, I'm going to ask a specific question, and I want you to write that down on a piece of paper, take a picture of it, and send it to me, or send me a text message with the answer. Focusing on number 2, okay? Number 2 says, list the steps Grace takes to make the cake with her mom. So I want you to start this answer. The steps Grace takes to make the cake with her mom are, whatever they did to make the cake, make sure you put it in that order. Don't start from the end to the beginning. Start from the beginning to the end. When you're done with number 2, if you're writing it down on a piece of paper, please make sure you take a picture and send it to me. Or if you don't have any blank sheets of paper, go ahead and text me the answer from your parents' cell phone if you can. This would have been question number 3. This would have been question number 3. It says, if you had supper at your house, what would you serve? So if you could have any supper you want, discuss that with your parents, telling them what your best supper meal is. And that's all for today, scholars. I will see you bright and early in the morning. I miss you. Cannot wait to see you. Cannot wait to hear from you. Have a great day. Mwah.